I read Paul's letter to the Philippians just a few days ago, and it reminded me what a lovely letter this was, as he gives thanks to the Philippian Christians for their support, for their prayers and for their practical support long after he'd left them. And he speaks very warmly of their partnership in the gospel, how they'd worked side by side for the Christian faith. There was one verse in particular that struck me, chapter 1 and verse 27, where Paul writes, "Just one thing, live your lives in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ." He's urging the Christians there to live as citizens of the kingdom of God. For the gospel message isn't just something to hear and to believe. To be real in our lives, it has to be lived out, has to affect our behaviour, has to affect our lifestyle. So it got me thinking, what might living a life worthy of the gospel mean in our current situation? Especially as in the next few weeks, well, next few weeks at least, that we live under a second national lockdown. Paul urges the Christians to stand firm in one spirit, with one mind, working side by side for the faith of the gospel. It's a call for Christian unity, but sadly the history of the Christian church is anything but united. You may be familiar with those extra lines to Onward Christian Soldiers. It goes something like this. Like a mighty army moves the Church of God. But instead of army, it's tortoise. Like a mighty tortoise moves the Church of God. Brothers, we are treading where we've always trod. We are all divided, not one body we, lacking faith and doctrine, lacking charity. Sadly, those words have been proved to be true over many centuries. But as Christians, we should be on the same side. We shouldn't be trying to outdo one another. We're not battling against one another. And it's not just one church failing to work with another church. It's often one Christian against another. John Stott put it in these words. We appear to suffer from a pathological inability to get on with one another, or to cooperate in the cause of the kingdom of God. We ought not to make light of this grievous situation. At the present time, our churches face many great challenges. And at a local level, there are no doubt many possible options as to what we could offer Sunday by Sunday. Many ways in which we might try to stay united and connected with one another. So are we really standing side by side? Are we standing firm together? Are we working together for the faith of the gospel? So I think it means that here in Ashtead we should pray especially for our PCC, especially for our church leadership team, as they strive to lead us onward, to lead us through the challenges that we're currently facing. Now, we're not going to agree with all that's been decided, but we certainly should support those decisions. Any sporting team, if it's to successful, has different people with different skills but working together as one, each player playing his or her part in the whole team. And really it's no different for our spiritual team, of which each and every one of us is a part here in Ashtead.